Good afternoon, audience, or good morning, whenever you're listening to this. This is Ernie Meyer with the Ernie Meyer Show, and today we have a special guest called JC Soto on our video cast, so to speak. And he has a lot more experience than I do as far as podcasting and video casting online. So, I pay attention because this guy has a lot to offer if you want a career in video casting or podcasting. But JC Soto, I'm very happy to have you on our show. And he has a lot of accolades, and I'll let him explain exactly where he's been and what he's done. So take it away, JC.
Well, Ernie, thank you for having me on your show. I mean, this is a treat. I know we've been going back and forth. We finally nailed down a date and the time so we could do this. First and foremost, what I might be most proud of is my time in the service. I spent 10 years in the Air Force. I was called a forward air controller. I was part of the elite force, just as part of the Air Force. And then after I left the Air Force, I started doing businesses and buying businesses and starting my own business. And along the way, I became a published author. That's another accomplishment that I kind of proud of being able to put the book together and get it published and become a best-selling author. So it's just been a long journey. I'm glad to be able to meet people like yourself and Gary Barnes and the whole tribe of these entrepreneurs that are, making a difference in the world. So I'm glad to be here.
Well, thank you for being a guest on our show. And thank you. And let me join in the audience in saying thank you for your service. I spent a year in the United States Navy way back when during the Vietnam area. So when I see a firefighter or a police officer in uniform in any place I go, I always walk up to them and thank them for their service. So I thank you for your service to our country. And, I wish you many returns as far as that concern goes. Now, I understand you and I parallel a lot in both what we do today and also what happened in the past, because I know I talk about when I thought I had arrived in rich thinking and world class, that I had made it because I was a general contractor, successful and all that good stuff. And I lost it all in 2007, 2008. And I blamed it on the economy. But really, if I had the rich man's thinking, I would not have lost it all. And I can explain that in another video. But JC also had a similar experience back in 2008, I believe it was. Would you tell us about that, please?
Well, back then I had my own little piece of the world, if you want to call it that. I had a business, a retail store, and I used to sell tires, antique hubcaps, wheels. We used to do some limited amount of car detailing, and I had some people that employees, about 6 people that I had employed and I was responsible for. So, but when the economy shifted back in 2008, because of the nature of my business was to allow car lots to come take some of the merchandise and allow them to pay 90 to 120 days later. That was a credit system that was pretty much kind of a normal thing to do. And when the economy went down, a lot of the car lots came in and bought a lot of the merchandise and put it on their cars, sold their cars, shut down their lots and left. There was no payment for the merchandise. So that kind of, left me in the hook. And then I had employees that I had to pay, pay wages, and a building that I had to pay the lease on and on and on and on. So I started dipping into my own savings and my personal savings. So I kind of sold my house, moved into my building that I was leasing, kind of made up my own little apartment area to stay in there, hoping and working to make the kind of make it through the whole rough part of the economy slump. And I started selling on eBay, and I started that as part of bringing more income in. But the income would not made up the difference of the money that was already gone and the people that I wanted to keep on staff. And so eventually I had to shut down. I took all my money out of my savings. I used it to pay my employees, and I ended up broke. And being that I was pretty much by myself, I had recently divorced also, so that kind of added to the stress of
Yes.
being without a job, without a business, without a family here. Uh, so it was a rough time. And looking back, of course, hindsight's 2020, and you start to realize that it's not really the end of the world. At that time, it feels like it because we get so involved in our own darkness that we don't step back. We don't take the time to really step back and really assess what's happening, what we have. When I was in the service, and we had a specialized training called E&E, which escape and evade in case you get captured by the enemy. What do you do, or in case you get separated from your unit? What do you
Mhm.
do? So one of the things it tells you is that first of all, you gotta hide. You gotta find a place to be safe, and then assess what do you have. Am I injured? Do I have water? Do I have a map? Do I have my compass? What do I have that I can use to start moving forward, make a plan to move forward? So those are the things that once we get into that point in our lives that we are, we get into our own darkness and we don't take the time to assess where we are, what we have. That's where we start going the wrong way. Sometimes we start thinking the wrong thinking, and start, like in my case, I thought about suicide back then because I didn't want to
Mm.
bother my parents. They were in the 70s and late 70s already. Older parents were older already, so I didn't want to
Sure.
bother them. So in being that I was pretty much here by myself, I had some friends. I didn't want to bother anybody. So I started having these really negative thoughts about life and why to keep going, and the money that I spent and starting over again. So the things that really in the end doesn't make a difference. You can bounce back. You can find, you're resilient. You can find ways to bounce back and start over again. It's not the end of life. And sometimes we get into that point in lives that our thinking gets stuck in that really negative point of our lives that it's just that uh, will self-destroy without
Yeah,
really a real reason for doing that.
it's very true. I want to remind the audience that you are watching the Ernie Meyer Show, and today's guest is JC Soto. And I would like to applaud you personally for making sure that your employees were paid, because a lot of people wouldn't think of that. And they'd just say, forget it. So I'm losing money, they will too. But you made sure, you remind me like a lot again of myself, where my handshake is just as good as a contract and my word is just as good. So for you to do something like that, that shows your integrity and honesty as far as what you have done in the past. And again, you can design a life or you can make a living. And JC has chosen to make a living and pick up where he has left off, which is really phenomenal. So, today, where are you at? What are you doing? And how are you helping others?
Well, back when I was working my way out of this mental mess that I was in, I was also learning internet marketing. And I was working on eBay, doing some eBay selling, and I was learning how to do websites and helping other people with email marketing was, starting off back then. It was kind of a big thing and it was new. Having your website was a must. Still is today, but back then it was something that it was coming onto the scene and people really wanted a website.
Mhm.
So I was learning all those things. So eventually that training and that education that I took up on myself helped me get out of that mental being stuck in that pattern of thinking negatively and start helping other people. So
Mhm.
eventually I started my own agency called Online Media 360, and I started helping people with publishing their book, becoming a published author, or becoming a best-selling author, publishing press releases, helping them with email marketing. So helping them really position themselves online to stand out from this crowded business world that we live in. So,
Mhm.
and then from there, are also starting coaching people and helping them out both in English and Spanish.
Mhm.
So it's been a learning period from back then to now to take all the stuff that back then it looked like it's not worth anything. Doing all the selling on eBay, writing the copy, and then taking pictures and selling people stuff besides what they already bought. All these skills that I learned became so useful later on when I finally woke up from uh, that foggy thinking and decided to
Mm.
apply all these skills.
That's wonderful. And again, I want to remind you we are watching the Ernie Meyer show, and our guest is JC Soto. And as I said in the beginning, and now at the end, he will also share his special offer to all of you out there. And we will also put that in the comments below. But we want JC to be able to connect with you. And I know you want to connect with him. So he has a lot to offer. And I know I can learn a lot from him as far as that goes, too. In fact, I'll be on his show a week from today. And he will be sending me a link on how to get on his show. And I will be featured on his show as well. So that is a treat for me. So, JC, why don't you tell the audience exactly what your offer is?
Well, I wrote a book for podcasters on how to monetize the podcast because a lot of them podcast is a lot of work.
Mhm.
When you have to prepare the show, interview the person, upload the show. I mean, it's a lot of work. Write the notes, write the description. Uh, and a lot of people don't do it full time because they don't see it as a source of income. All
Mm.
that effort doesn't have really a return on investment. So I wrote a book. It's called Podcast Profits Blueprint, and it became a Amazon bestseller. But I also have a guide, a kind of a part two, if you want to call it, that I can give to your listeners. And all they have to do is contact me at jc@onlinemedia360.com. And on the subject line, just write um, podcast profits. And I know that's what they want, and I'll send them the guide. It's a guide that has different ideas on how to make money with your podcast, how to monetize it, how to grow your audience. So it makes it a more of a worthwhile endeavor. And I know you and I, we want to share our knowledge and share other people's knowledge, but we
Mhm.
also need to make an income to be able to keep this operation going. So that's a
That's
lot
true.
of the podcasters have to do the same thing. Everything costs money and time on the internet. Whether when we might look at it, maybe well, it's our time. Well, we got to spend time and money on hosting and
Mhm.
software and other things that go along with it. So may as well make a little money and keep it going and keep helping. The more you can make the money, the more people you can help in different ways.
That's very true. You can make the money and you can run your business and live just about anywhere once you are successful that you can in a free world. And, myself, I have many different subjects that I could offer information on that people do want. Anything from learning how to be a black belt in martial arts to statistics to Japanese management style called just in time. I mean, how to drum, how to build a home, how to do different things. But I chose to help people to think from a middle class or poor person to a world class or rich thinking. And JC will teach you how to become successful and profitable as a podcaster. And that's something I'm looking forward to because right now I'm at a point where I am giving away my shows and I'm offering free interviews on my show. And that's going to change in the next year or so. And mark this down. Today is 9/17/2021. So a year from now, you may have to pay to be on my show, but today it's free. So if we want to explain that and leave that to you, do you have any last words to tell your audience, JC?
Yeah, just like you said, we got to keep helping each other. One of the things I also help my clients do is stand out online because after the pandemic, it seems like it's been a rush of people coming online, and a lot of coaches, a lot of consultants coming online. Some of them are good, some of them are not that great, just like everything else in life. So if you are a coach, you're a consultant, make sure that you keep educating your prospects and your clients, not just only your prospects, because the
Yeah.
worst experience and feeling is that if you have a client and then the client comes to you and tells you, I needed this service, but I didn't know you offered it, so I went to your competition. And I think that's the worst. Like a punch in the gut when you realize that you did not take the time to educate your current clients and prospects and customers that you offer this service, you offer this product, you have this other option, this solution that they were looking for, and they missed it because you kept it quiet. So just keep
Yeah.
educating people, keep putting the word out there, keep collaborating with other people like you and I are doing right now. We're going to do
Mhm.
in a week or so, and keep finding ways to stand out. Because, like I said, I think one of the biggest dangers that I've seen in the last year is that there's been a lot of people coming online claiming to be this or that, and are
Yeah.
not delivering the service that we are used to deliver ourselves. We're like you and I and Gary Barnes. Some of the people have the integrity to deliver a value, and it seems like it's been diluted by the rush of people that have come online to claim to be this or that.
Exactly. And I totally agree with you. I myself have hired 3 mentors, 3 coaches in the last year, and I've seen various degrees of different approaches that these people take. And I wanted to learn and really soak in a lot of that knowledge. And some were good, some were not so good, but that's okay because I still learned their style and I know how to present the material that I have learned and how to take a person from where they are to where they want to be. And if they aren't, we'll have a conversation first. And basically, if they, I don't feel that they have the initiative or the will or the want, I won't take their money. It's like when 1,000 people came through my karate studio and they would say, well, I would like to be a black belt. Now I took their money because they wanted to be a black belt. But soon after that, 3, 4 months down the road, they realized what kind of work was involved and dedication. And the same thing applies with business. And I really won't take somebody's money that I don't feel will put forth the effort, not because I don't want the money, but because I want a better return for the people that I bring in. And those are the types of people that I interview. So, I'm very thankful that I have JC to offer. And remember, you can design a life. You can make a living or you can design your life. And what I mean by that is that you can have circumstances control your life and you can just skip through life and reacting to different things that happen to you, or you can make things happen by learning how to make things happen that'll create a life that'll be a world-class life for you. How would you like to be somebody like a Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk taking off, or maybe your goal is to fly in space? I know mine is, because when I was in school, I took up space. That's about all I did was take up space. So, we are here to help you. And again, we will help you. And if you missed the email, or you can go back through here, we will have all the information listed below in the YouTube channel. So you don't have to worry about, oh, gee, I missed that. You'll get it. So again, anything else before we sign off, or are we good to go?
Well, I just want to say one last thing. And the thing is that when we have a service or a product that can help someone, I believe that we have a moral obligation to let that person know that we can help them, that we have that solution. And it's a disservice to allow that person to go to someone else that might rip him off, might not be a good fit, or might not deliver the value that that person is looking for.
Very true. Very well said. With that, we will say goodbye for now and let you please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel and to JC's channel as well, because we are here to help you. And even if something doesn't appeal to you, it may appeal to somebody else. It may something on this video, maybe something that you know somebody who wants this. Share it with them. Please do them that service is sharing it with them. And we will be ever thankful, and so will that person. So take care. Have a great day. Goodbye now.